Today, I will be talking to you about the benefits of classroom seating management, a strategy designed to accommodate a wide variety of students and their different learning styles, offering solutions to classrooms that are typically arranged for the benefit of neurotypical and mainstream students. Classroom seating management is essentially the placement of desks within a classroom. Now, there are several techniques that a person could use in order to arrange their students to better aid them, but we are going to list our favorites and our reasons for choosing them in order to help future teachers understand the dynamics of classrooms. So, all that a teacher will need is some time, some planning, and a bit of gusto to get the desired results. Teachers can use these different classroom settings in virtually any field or grade, and the benefits are always universal. By arranging and adapting a classroom, teachers can find easy ways to properly give students the tiered aid that they require, without having students feel alienated or forgotten. Historically, students who were considered bad, whether due to behavioral issues, learning disabilities, or just poor grades, were often shuffled to the back of the classroom to be forgotten. Nowadays, we see students with a greater need for additional aid being placed in the front of the classroom. Yet, this may not always be the most beneficial place for students. Through this video, we will show common and unorthodox classroom setups so that future teachers can better adapt. To start us off, we have the traditional classroom. This setup is what is typically seen in modern classes due to its simplicity. It's familiar to anyone who has ever been through the education system and imposes a strict, no-nonsense structure on the classroom. The depth of the classroom in this setup tends to squeeze active students to the front with inactive students to the back. So, a teacher must be proactive in their seating arrangements. The problem, however, is that it requires constant monitoring and patrolling for a teacher to see everything that goes on in the classroom. This can lead to bullying, exclusion, and all manner of non-inclusive activities taking place. In order to counteract this, a teacher must take up both teaching time as well as assessment time. So, by doing this, students may fall behind or not be up to snuff. Next up, we have the Foursquare. Desks are placed in groups of 4, facing inwards to promote internal discussion. This classroom is good for teachers that regularly encourage group work, and can be a good way for placing students in different tiers however you want, without it being overt. This is whether it is students being placed in groups with varying levels of need, or by organizing students by the amount of focus they require from a teacher. This, however, does encourage a lot of chatter between students, so teachers should expect students to take liberties. Foursquare is also perfect for having students shuffle from cluster to cluster, allowing a teacher to keep group dynamics fresh and prevent students from being locked in with classmates who hamper their learning style. The Horseshoe. This setup is perfect for classes where class discussion is the main focus of the unit. Everyone only has to turn their heads to the left or the right in order to see the entire class, encouraging dialogues to form. A teacher has a very easy line of sight of all students, and allows the class to be easily controlled. Students who are bullied or nervous may take comfort in this classroom, as having their backs to a wall may make them feel safer and more at ease than if they were at the front of the class. The wide teaching space in the middle moves the direction of the class from the front towards the center, giving an equal distance to each student. This helps the classroom be inclusive, as no one student is ahead of or behind another. The butterfly. The butterfly is a variation on the horseshoe. The difference with this setup is that there are several desks in the middle, connecting and forming an almost E shape. This setup allows for students to form groups of 3 very easily, and is an easy way to encourage stronger students to interact with their peers. By placing advanced students in the center, they are uniquely able to aid their nearby peers, and will attract less negative attention than another student would. Here we have the wide set. This classroom focuses on having students as close to the front as possible, rather than spreading them lengthwise. This classroom is particularly useful for teachers that want to have learning centers or activities set up in the back of the class, especially for students who need diversified means of studying and working. With a wide set classroom, teachers can find a massively increased amount of space to work with in a wide variety of classrooms. The downside is that a teacher is not able to walk straight down the middle of the classroom and must skirt the sides. But, mercifully, with it being so condensed, being able to speak to students is not that hard when it is in a wide set. And lastly, we have the diamond set. The diamond set is a bit of an unorthodox seating arrangement, but it's a very strong choice for classes with a small amount of students in it or a large room. This setup ensures that no student has another sat directly in front of them, and it gives the teacher a lot of room to weave between desks without it being a tight fit. The greatest benefit to this setup, however, is its versatility. Desks from this formation can easily be shifted into any of the other sets previously shown, thereby giving it the greatest potential for students to adapt to the whims and needs of the classroom. We believe that giving a student attention for their work and ensuring that they are taught at an appropriate level is important, but ensuring that students feel like they are truly a part of the classroom, regardless of their ability, is just as vital. By making students feel safe and important to the classroom, teachers have the opportunity to teach students far more effectively and include them in all facets of daily instruction, going beyond assessments and evaluations and truly entrenching themselves in the education of their students. Do you believe that a different seating plan can make all students feel included and at ease? Or that a teacher should focus on other avenues of day-to-day inclusion in the classroom? Please, tell us what you think and why. We'd love to hear back from you guys. Thank you so much for watching our video and listening to our thoughts on the topic.